We're live on the Country versus Metal podcast with Kenny Feidler.
How's it going?
How's it going, man?
Going great.
Prior to recording this, that is the first time. Today is the first day I said your last name right.
That's quite all right. It happens all the time. But no, thanks for having me on, Patrick. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. As a guy, like I always say, Northeast is Maryland, or you're from Baltimore, right? Is that considered?
Yeah, originally, yeah.
How old were you when you left Baltimore?
Just after high school.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering. I was wondering if you'd have like the Baltimore accent.
Oh no, I feel like I've went through a couple regional accents. When I lived in Oklahoma, like I listened to some of the old recordings I did when I was in Oklahoma, and like, man, it really got kind of twangy there. And I think I'm leveled out enough. I might have a couple South Dakota shticks, I guess, but no, I think I've traveled enough. It should have evened out.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how, like, just subconsciously your brain will just soak things up, and like the other day I said, like, I was like, man, I wish I could do that if I had the time. And I'm like, I just sound like Adam Hood. I was like, that's weird. But in my head, I love the southern accents. And sometimes I think in an accent in my head, just because, like, it would really sound cooler if someone from the South said that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Baltimore kind of has a trashy thing going on. They get
Have you ever seen the video where it's
these
like,
guys, yeah,
the Aaron, and Iron.
yeah. It's like Boston, but not as cool.
Yeah, that's so true. I work with a lot of people that live in Baltimore, and we had one person, and I was just like, "There's that accent." And they're like, "I know, right? You know," but that's funny. It's like Boston, but not cool.
Yeah.
But like, were you listening to country music when you lived in Baltimore?
I feel like it was kind of all pretty ambient. I mean, like my dad always had classic rock station on. My mom always had like the regular country radio on. So I did get turned on to like Randy Travis and Clint Black, and like that kind of stuff when I was a kid that I listened to. Really listened to a lot of Randy Travis, but nothing that I don't think I was ever really paying attention that well though until I started until I moved to Oklahoma and kind of started making my own songs. I feel like it was all kind of ambient. It was there,
Yeah.
But I listened to the rock station in Baltimore. It was Nirvana, Sabbath, and like Alice in Chains, like that kind of stuff. And so I'm sure parts of it stuck with me because there's things that I do now that I think like I kind of can feel that, in what I'm doing in certain things.
Yeah. Oh, but, definitely. Like the song 27.
Uh-huh.
Oh, dude. I was like, when people are like, yeah, check out Kenny's new record, and they gave me a song, I'm like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. And then when you go through it, you're like, no, this is what you wanted me to listen to first, because it's the jam. And then the one song, it's funny. Like, I was just talking with like Colby Acuff, and he's just like, man, like guys like you and everything, they need another name for the genre because it's so different and just a place to live. Because like in the one song, like you got like the whammy pedal. I love that, and it's like cool ass rock and music, and then it's like hell yeah, and it's just anytime you hear that, I either think of like Pantera or Rage Against the Machine and Audio Slave, and it's cool that like you have this deck of cards. And,
yeah, well, and like even since that last studio album, like we've moved on with had like a change of cast in the band and guitar players, and like Casey that plays guitar for me now, like he plays really outside the box, and it's really cool. And there's just like his influences are coming into the band now, and so like the last 3 singles that we put out, Casey was on, and you can see the change in the guitar playing and with the new album. I don't know. He works super hard at it, and I feel like I finally found like a good medium, or I feel like settling into like our sound now. You know, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice to have players with you that, like, you don't always have to, nitpick everything and be
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah, just do this. It's nice when you have a group of guys behind you. Just do your thing, have fun, and
yeah, and it's truly my, like with my band. I mean, I feel like everybody's as equally invested as you could be. You know, my guys are really here for it, and super lucky. I mean, I'm the worst guitar player in my band, and I mean, our bass player Joey that just joined, he's a great pedal steel player, great guitar player. Maddie plays steel, can play guitar. My drummer Tom is a great guitar player, owns a studio, and then Casey was a songwriter and had his own band before joining my band, and he's just worked his ass off to be a great guitar player. So very,
yeah,
very fortunate.
yeah, that's nice. In case every once in a while somebody can't make it somewhere, and to be able to have
Oh yeah, yeah.
always have that same sound. With
We're we're pretty stacked for for fill-ins if we need it. You know.
Yeah, dude, like being from Baltimore, is there anything you miss? Like, is there?
Maybe some of the food, I guess, but not nothing really else. I I mean it's fun getting to go to the beach every once in a while, but I love where I live now.
Yeah,
I travel all over, and I feel like everywhere I've been, there's a couple places that I like to go on the regular and visit, like Arizona or Montana, but I really like South Dakota's home to me, and my wife's from here, and yeah, I just love where we live.
yeah,
And
it's
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah,
no, it's fine. It's just
even
I
touring wise, it works good for us. I mean, you wouldn't think it would, but we travel a lot, and we do like 55, 60,000 miles a year, and I I don't feel inconvenienced at all. I feel like we're actually in a good spot to hit the entire country instead of just just Texas or just like California or something like that. So
yeah, definitely get out and hit the road. But yeah, like it just seems I know Virginia's not that far away, Richmond, but it's like
oh yeah.
that's like the magic line where guys like you come out, and it's just like, man, I wish I could, to be to be in Richmond, Virginia on like a Wednesday or a weekend. I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
it's not fair. It's like
And where are you at?
Delaware.
Okay, right on. Yeah,
Yeah, so,
so yeah, we are coming out to Richmond and Morgantown, West Virginia, and Ohio, and for the first time, we've always, it seems like we would kind of push as far as like Indianapolis and from there west and kind of run all that pretty well, and then we just started to kind of push out in Ohio this year, and turnouts have been good, and so we're gonna push farther east and do North Carolina and Virginia, West Virginia, and I would have liked to have just come out and done some support things, and that's kind of like the safest way to go about breaking into those kind of new areas like that, but I think we'll do fine. I mean, we run pretty lean, so it doesn't take a lot for us to feel like something's successful, and people appreciate it, because if you push into new markets where people don't get to, you're never around, they'll drive 3 or 4 hours to come see you. So
yeah,
it feels special to get to do that for people, and they appreciate it, and I appreciate them coming out. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's a lot. Winchester, Virginia. It's not that far away, and man, they get a bunch of great acts that are making the same
Oh
kind of
yeah.
great music that that you guys are, and that's like my home away from home, but like that's like Steve was saying, he's like, "Yeah, just move to where it is." I'm like, it's such a big thing, and it's just crazy. Like it's just crazy because as a musician like yourself, like dude, the road. If the do you feel like if the road's not like your second home, just give it up, kind of deal?
I feel like I mean I don't have any choice but to do that. You know, I don't think and I enjoy it. I really do. Like I I think like even from rodeoing and stuff for 15 years or whatever, I've always enjoyed that. And especially from being on the East Coast, I think I always felt very kind of boxed in over there. Even as a kid, I always felt homesick for something else, and and so I've always appreciated traveling. And once we moved from quit rodeoing and started taking music serious, yeah, it's never bothered me. And like long drives, I don't mind doing them, and that's not for everybody. Like some people, 5 or 6 hours and they're beat, but we like I can take a 20-hour leg. It doesn't hurt. And my band can too. And I guess not everybody has that in their bandmates or in themselves either
Yeah.
to be able to put up with the monotony of traveling like that. But yeah, it doesn't really bother us.
So while you were out here in Baltimore, did you get in the rodeo out here?
Yeah, like there's bull riding and stuff on the East Coast, especially like once you get down to like the Carolinas, and
Okay.
but they had high school rodeo in Pennsylvania when I was in school, and and there was rodeos in New York, and so yeah, I got into bull riding, and then I started riding bareback horses. I think maybe my sophomore year of high school, and then once I went to college, I quit riding bulls and just rode bareback horses for till I turned 30, and then gave her up. But
Yeah.
I wasn't it was never going to go anywhere super big for me. I loved it, and it was such a big part of my life. But um, once you kind of hit that age, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's kind of a selfish endeavor at that point, unless you're really out there making really good money and making a living. But yeah, it was a big part of my life, and it's the reason I got in make playing music and how I met my wife and everything. So pretty thankful for it.
Yeah. It, the end game was worth it.
Oh
But
yeah.
obviously, you'd seen someone ride a bronc. Now, what made you go, hell yeah, that's what I want to do?
Chris Ledoux's music got me into it. I don't know if you've ever listened to Chris Ledoux before, but he's out of Wyoming, and he's a world champion bareback rider, and he he had his own little chunk of the music scene too, and like those rodeo songs, like it like I don't know, that's what made me want to be a bareback rider was his music, and read his biography, and so that was like the whole reason I ever got into that. But yeah, it really I mean, as far as music goes though, like I never like his music made me want to rodeo and stuff, but his music isn't what made me want to, like I didn't want to write the same thing. I there's a lot of guys like in Colorado and out this way that try to emulate it a little bit more. But I've just always appreciated what the songs did for me, and then once I started rodeoing, I just did my own thing and wrote, just really appreciated it because I was kind of an outsider in the whole deal, and so I feel like I just wrote about it, and that's how I started writing songs, and the rest is history, I guess.
Dude, that's an incredible origin story. Because
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because I tell people like if I had heard Chris Ledoux when I was in high school, this channel wouldn't exist. Because like he had like gallops and like it was like I always call Shane Smith and the Saints like country Pink Floyd, and he had
Oh,
every aspect of that of like cool stories and cool like theatrical
yeah.
cinematic sounds in his music.
Even had
And
some
then
rock and roll stuff in there. I mean,
yeah,
it was a good, unique thing, you know. And and I think the person that I never got to meet him. I've got to meet his sons before, but he just everybody says what a great person he was, and I think that went a long way with me too. You know, as
yeah,
like someone you can really idolize.
yeah, definitely. Now if Chris Ledoux, you know, was still alive and he went up to you and said that, hey Kenny, what's the most what is the one thing you did that I'd be proud of you for? Do you have like an answer for that?
Uh, I think in my songwriting would be writing the real part of it. You know, of like the rodeo stuff. It was never like cheesed it up and made it about the props. You know, it was all, you know. I feel like I don't write a lot of rodeo songs anymore because I don't do it, and but I feel like the ones that I did were very true to the feeling of being in it, and because I just wrote what I was, what was going on around me at the time or what I was feeling. So I feel like I really wrote real stuff, and I think maybe that would be it, you know. And I've had guys at rodeo or will tell me like, "Man, I didn't really know much about you, but I can tell that you've done it," you know, because it's real. It's not the. I mean, there's some stuff out there that's a little more mainstream that might have ties to rodeo. That it's very superficial, you know, and
Yeah.
and it and that stuff kind of gets cheesy to me, and I feel like it doesn't carry any weight. I mean, not everything has to be a sad, you know, heavy story, but there it's like a lonely life too, you know, and there's struggles and parts of it that like you can tell people that didn't really do it don't ever get a grasp of that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's funny because when you were saying that, I had songs pop up in my head. I'm like, yep, that'd be one that
yeah,
because they just reference it like, you know,
and that's like any kind of song. I mean, country, you know, that's like the plague of like mainstream music. It's
yeah,
just the touching on the keywords and never diving any deeper.
yeah, it's just surface level, just buzzwords.
Yeah.
It's and that was always the thing that drove me away. It's the same as I used to listen to like rap, and now like man, every song's the same. You know, if my favorite band's just sung about the same stuff all the time, I just wouldn't be a fan.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't understand how there's a market for that of just the same thing.
Well,
It's
and I feel like you know, like that's why like with my stuff I've tried to like, of course, as you get more serious about being a songwriter or you know, playing music for a living, like of course you get more critical of it and you try to like make sure you're doing the best you can moving forward. But you know, like people really love like the stuff that I wrote when I was in college and earlier on, like that's the most popular stuff that I have. And like if I was looking for the payday, I could have just leaned in and just
Yeah.
kept regurgitating different parts of that, but then it would lose the lose the mojo. I think it's
Yeah.
and I just don't. That's not something I'm really interested in doing. I can still write about it from like a past perspective here and there, and or see things around me or people I know and write about those things. But yeah, I don't. I feel like with a lot of things, sometimes people see the formula and something works, and then they just beat it to death,
Yeah.
and then it loses any of the all the magic.
Yeah. It's like I tell people, like a lot of people, it's pretty much everybody that's been on this podcast, they know how to write popular music. There's there's no, there's no way you couldn't go in if you're just like, I'm just going to make the most popular song that's going to generate the most money, and you can go in and put it out, and and it'll find that market. But what's it do to you? Your soul, like.
Oh yeah. I think it's important to. I mean, I've talked with other folks on other podcasts about that part of songwriting because like I know that it's possible. Like, of course, you want to make a living and you want something that's going to be like well received, but you can't cross that. At least me personally, I just wouldn't cross the line of to where you're writing for that purpose.
Yeah.
Writing for that purpose to sell it or for it to be viral or something like that. I mean, everything. I feel like everything new I do, I'm like, oh, I think people are really gonna dig this, and like it might not get any traction, but like I still feel good about it at the end of the day. So that's good enough for me, and like as long as I'm proud of it, my band's proud of it, I'm kind of okay. Doesn't it hurt? It stings when people don't appreciate it the way you might appreciate something, but I don't take it to heart to the point where I would change what I was doing.
Yeah. Dude, I have to tell you, one of my favorite things about your last album, well, not the live one, dude, Dying Star.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, that's Zach Holiday. He plays with Josh Malloy now. Yeah. We wanted to with that album. Like I was really proud of the songs, and I thought it was a very cohesive album, and I kind of wanted it to play like it on on the record. I wanted to feel like a full body, and so as Zach, just to throw down just a intro track straight into Bloodshot, and
dude, it's awesome,
and yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I think it's neat to do stuff like that. I mean, it's not always commercially like the best idea because it's like cool. You have one track that you might have people like first song and it's just an instrumental weird thing, and you lose them and they tap out. But I don't know. I think it's cool to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, dude, it reminds like that was big in like the 80s and 90s to just have like a track just like to get you in that headspace. And I love it.
Yeah.
Dude, I had no idea it was Zach. Zach's from out here.
Oh yeah, Zach's from Philadelphia.
Yeah. I saw him with Lance Rourke. It was funny because I didn't really know who he was at first. I was up top, and Lance Rourke came out, and it's a steel player had a Philadelphia Phillies hat on, and I was like, oh, he's trying to blend in, because Philly fans, like you expect these guys. When these guys come out with the Dallas Cowboys, everyone just boos them, and it's so 13th grade. But the venue didn't have Miller Lite, and there he was, Miller Lite at his feet, and I was like, man, I wish I could hit him up and be like, dude, I know you got more. Come on, And then Lance said his name. I was like, I know that name. I typed Facebook, we're Facebook friends. I was like, man, I just want to send him a message. And then here I went downstairs and I was like, hey, dude, what's going on? I was like, cool, Philly's at. And he goes, yeah, dude, I'm from around here. And I'm like, really? I'm like, dude, that's crazy. And I was like, man, that's because, like, I don't know. I guess my whole thing, like, I always feel like, man, I'm like stuck out here because I worked like 2 decades at the same job, and seniority wise, I'm number one. And it's like a throne of nothing. But like, I have found such an appreciation of like chicken picking and that like honky tonk. And it's like blues on like amphetamines. I love the fast pace. And also I love like the volume swells and everything. And I like how I just like how the country guys, it's very clean and very articulate, and it's hard. It's hard to play, and I love being like challenged again. And I love like reading like I've read the books hundreds of times. Charles Bukowski. I love like short and sweet story songs and poetry and stuff like that. And man, like it's God, that's all. Like it's like all like what your music is. And
shit.
It's funny, like. I actually, like, before, like, I get the schedule, I know what's going on, and before I knew that you were going to be on here, I actually quoted one of your songs, because my buddy was talking about his Crazy Ex, and he was a younger kid, he was probably 20, 21, and he's like, oh, yeah, we're that crazy, huh? I was like, yeah, barrel racer girl crazy. Yeah. And he's like, what's a barrel racer? I'm like, you've honestly lived a very uneventful life. And perhaps it's because you love yourself and you don't like drama. And he's like, I don't get it. What's a barrel racer girl? I was like, dude, if you don't know at this point, you don't want to know. And I said, there's Kenny Feidler has a song. Just listen to it. It's 100% true. Because I was telling him, I knew this girl, and she was a barrel racer, and she put a picture up. This is a long time ago, not MySpace, but very very long. And she was like, "Oh yeah, like feeling real beat. Had a good sesh down here at the barrel racing track." And I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, you need to go to the hospital. You have jaundice. She was yellow. Her eyes were yellow, and she was like, I ain't got no STDs. I'm like, what the? It's jaundice. You've obviously drank yourself into this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, her eyes were like yellow, and it's. I was like, man, yeah. The next thing you know,
I just made a caricature of that whole deal when I was in college for that song, and it sounds like you might have met her, the real life version, huh?
They're nuts. They're nuts. Oh, I used to. This is back in high school. I dated a girl that worked at. I was amazed, like how much money is in horses.
Oh yeah.
I was like, they're free. They're out there.
Oh, no. Even just like horses for work. Everything. Like it's spendy.
Yeah, because I grew up around the Amish, and you don't really think of them as in terms of livestock and real estate. They are super wealthy.
Oh yeah, well, and I mean, they use them for daily life and work all the time. So like, there's a lot of good horse training in the Amish country too, I guess.
Yeah, and I just remember going to work one day. All she did was like clean up stables, and it's like, oh, my boss is coming. He's like driving up in like a Ferrari. I'm like, what? And then you find out like these horses, to have them stay at these places is like it's twice as like a mortgage. I'm like, oh my, it's incredible just the amount of.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine on the East Coast that it's just like the difference in price, like the price of land. Like an acre of land can cost you $200,000 on the East Coast, and people out here have thousands of acres, and so it's different worlds for sure.
Yeah, that's like we played a gig at a zoo, and after a couple drinks and at the end of the night, and it was like, one guy in the band was like, "Man, I've always wanted some goats." Next thing you know, we got goats. Like, the one got sick, and I remember I was like, wait, I forget the hospital's name, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking the." He named them after strippers, Jasmine and Candy. I can't remember which one it was, but he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking Candy down to here." I'm like, "Dude, that's where they took Barbaro, the famous horse." I was like, "I know you don't have money for that. Like, I know you don't have insurance on that thing." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna let him know that I'm I'm a broke musician."
This is a price capped situation.
Yeah. We got 98 on it. That's it.
Yeah.
But she didn't come out. She stayed there. But yeah, man, that was weird. Like, it was like when first time I was down in the stockyards and they were like walking the longhorns. People were like, "Hey, don't get a lot of that in Delaware, do you?" I'm like, "Actually, we have a place that sells Texas Longhorns down where I lived in Landenberg." There was a lot of farm out there. I just, if we were going to round up cows, it was on dirt bikes, and I just wanted to ride dirt bikes.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely nothing. Like I've seen people on bulls, and there's no way I'd be like, "Where's the sign up?" like you've ridden them. Could you like calculate like for those couple of seconds on like a crazy bronc compared to like if someone was just to like go out and jog? How many miles do you think that those couple of seconds are if I was to go out and jog?
I have no idea. I know like with bareback horses, it's like so there's such an intensity to it because like bull riding, I don't have a good read on because I did it when I was a kid and I still watch it sometimes and think like, man, I don't know how anyone does that. It just doesn't even seem possible. So, like bulls are getting so good and like those guys, the riders are so good to even be able to do it. It's mind blowing to me. But with bareback riding, like I know that like what goes into that, and like it is a lot of force, and like it's so intense for that short amount of time, and it's kind of physically. I think bareback riding's kind of like the more physically demanding event. But yeah, it's I don't know really what I could put it up against, to be honest. Yeah. But I got out of it pretty good. Never really got beat up too bad. Just concussions, and that was about it. So made out all right.
Yeah, and got some songs out.
Yeah, yeah. More importantly, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I had it was like it says just a couple of questions I had for fun and say, what's more dangerous, an unbroke bronc or a broken down tour van?
Yeah, I'd say the van would be more stressful to me. I've been so lucky. I haven't had a whole lot of breakdowns. Knock on wood.
Yeah, but, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I've had a few. Like last year, the year before, we were still pulling a trailer with our van. We just have a transit van, and we were pulling like a 14-foot trailer, and we end up traveling in the ice and snow for a chunk of the year. Whether it's, we got to get through it at some point, either coming home or taking off, and then till we can get to nicer weather, But yeah, we put her in the ditch a couple times. I think it was not this past winter, but the winter before, and man, it was just getting to a point where it was like I wasn't scared, but I was it was on my mind all the time. Like if something bad it's just waiting to happen. It's going to happen eventually. You know, after those couple of wrecks, and so now we are just running. We load everything in the van. I got a extended transit, so I have a little bit more space. It's a high top. We stack all the road cases, all the in-ear rack, and all the drums, and we cage it off with our merch racks up against the seat. So and then we put a mattress on top of the road cases. So we have a bed, and then there's three rows of benches for the guys to sleep on, and then two of us up front. So everyone has a place. Two guys up front, and four guys can sleep if they want to. But Anson's doing that. This past winter, it's taken a lot of stress off of me, just because I don't have to worry about those trailers. You just hit some ice and it just gets to fishtailing you. So, man, this is the way to go for us.
Yeah, and when you're towing a trailer, it says musician. When you see a transit like that, you could think like tour group or to travel.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to remember. Didn't you hook somebody up that had their trailer stolen?
Yeah, Eli Howard.
Had
his stuff stolen, and my van and trailer were down in Texas at the time. We were just like flying. We had our tour manager had a house down there at the time, and we had like 3 or 4 weekends at Texas shows in a row, and I had a whole bunch of flight credit to spend. So we actually brought her down, and then we're just taxiing back and forth between Denver and DFW. But and then we were off one weekend, and I had just told Eli just take my rig. But we've never been robbed. We've been very lucky. I mean, we always take guitars inside, and even when we had the trailer, I would always back it up against if someone wants to steal your stuff, they can. Doesn't matter how good your locks are. I mean, those enclosed trailers, you could get into them with a can opener. They're so thin. But I've always kept it on my mind to, try not to park in sketchy spots, and a lot of times somebody will sleep in the van too. Like if it was kind of sketchy, there would always be someone there and armed to protect the stuff. So, but yeah, so far we haven't caught any of those yet. So.
Yeah, that's good. I'm pretty sure
that was, Dallas gets it a lot. Because I know Logan Ryan just got robbed.
Dude, I was just gonna say, dude,
a couple weeks ago.
And it's funny is like I don't really know any of those guys, but as like a musician, watching that drive away, just the anger, and I know, like, dude, like it's like your family getting kidnapped. Like if you have an instrument you absolutely love, like when Eli Howard's his one guitar, it's just a piece of you. It's just going, and it's not going to the highest bidder. It's going to someone that's just like, I don't know what this is. Just give me $30 for it. And it's like, it's
a bummer.
Scummy. It's so terrible. And like you said, like I was in a band with a bunch of guys that were just like, whatever they didn't. They would leave like acoustics in the back of the truck, and I'd be like, it's raining. Like, I know it's made of wood. It's not going to grow. It's not going to grow any more tone. You don't have to water your guitars. Go get your guitar. Because I was a big fan of small rig, bringing it into the room.
Sure.
Like, and then I just have to worry about like the maid who's not gonna walk with a big guitar case and an amp, and it's just you sleep better. But having a guy actually sleep in the van, that's
well, and it's like preferable, I guess, for us, because there's with our tour manager, there's 6 of us. So, I mean, normally, as long as we get it, so when we travel, we always leave, because we're so far from anything. We'll leave like say this weekend, we're going to Yorkville, Illinois. We're playing there Thursday, so we'll leave my house at Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, and just drive through the night over there. So we don't have a hotel that night, and then I'll get a hotel for Friday for Thursday for Thursday night in Yorkville, and then Friday in Iowa City, and then we play Minneapolis on Saturday, and then we'll just load up after the show's over and just drive straight home. So we cut down on our dicking around time out there when we're going. Kind of cut out some of those down days, you know.
Yeah.
And also cuts down on days that you can get robbed. So I guess that works out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's man. Like I just remember the one time I rented a van to go to Nashville. I just remember walking around the back and seeing the New York plates, and I was like, oh. It's like, do you ever like? I mean, South Dakota. Like I when I think South Dakota, I think it's honestly just North Dakota. I don't think but when you think New York, some people think some things. That have you ever? Yeah. I swear, an out of state plate adds 10 miles to the radar gun.
Yeah,
but but like man, I'm like those guys. They don't listen to it, but man, that's just. We would take turns, and it was always like, dude, if it hasn't been your turn, you cannot drink. And then we'd have times where I'd wake up and see like an 18-wheeler like 4 inches away, and I'm like, oh, and here come to find out the guy just couldn't wait to get into the moonshine.
Oh, jeez.
Like, well, it's got lane assist. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. But that's what happens when you have, you get the phone call that like, oh man, like they're like, oh yeah, we want you guys, we want to sign you guys. Write down everything you want. Write down your favorite amp, your favorite guitar. What's your dream guitar? And they give you your dream with not giving you anything. And man, my guys just went. They turned in the Slash. They turned in, what are you doing in the hospital? I got pancreatitis. Oh, that's just because you replaced water with, the hard stuff. That's what happens.
I think that's what I've been very fortunate, and fortunate, especially like the band I have now. Like most good portion of my band, like they're sober or they just don't drink a lot, and
professional.
Yeah, and like it's just the part. I think the amount of traveling we do, and we take it serious. We're working, and it's not like it's a lot of fun. It's like so lucky to have like such a fun job, Yeah. But we also like it's also in mind that our spouses are home. Like my wife's at home watching our kids while I'm gone. So like I don't like. I have a lot of fun traveling, playing music with my band, but I don't go out. I don't like. There's no screwing around out there, and not that there's anything wrong. Like everybody, what I was getting at was, it feels like no one's ever been like here's the keys to all this for us. It's always kind of been a grind. So, I've just never had that moment, where it was like, oh, free ride here on out. I'm just gonna do whatever I want, I always had to answer to myself. It seems like so I've never had that happen.
Yeah, like we'll never see one of your band members on TikTok standing on top of a table at the Waffle House throwing a chair at a line cook.
Yeah, not anymore. Hope that didn't sound condescending either. I didn't mean it. I was just segueing.
Yeah, some people they want that kind of fame. I swear.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with it. Yeah, and just like the day in and day out of it, it's like, man, some of that shit would get so old. If you had I know there's bands that party and stuff, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, it would just make it it wouldn't be fun for me.
Yeah, like dude, I couldn't imagine like being in your shoes and being a front man and like having the crowd like throw beers at you. And there's some people that like they're like, "Oh yeah, that's our thing." And I'm like, "Man, like
Yeah.
no."
Well, yeah. Well, and like there's times where like and like in our live show, like I feel like our music's pretty high, like high intensity, and it's moving, and like especially if we're like doing like a support spot or something, like we're trucking through songs. Like I don't I don't give monologues on stage, and I don't.
Yeah.
We just play rock and roll, you know. So like um, sometimes like those like the beer thing and stuff, like you always want people to have fun, and I never want it to look like I'm not having fun, but like some of that stuff would get old to me, you know,
Yeah.
personally. Like I know that's kind of just um, that's like something that happened, like that. Not it's not the habit of the band, but the habit of the fans, I guess. You know, starts to be like that's the thing, that's the fun in it. But I
Yeah.
kind of more in it for the music, like myself. And even as a fan, like I wouldn't really appreciate, I wouldn't like that, you know.
Yeah.
But
I have a hard time with that, especially if it's like your favorite band. You look over and you see someone heave ho inside. I'm like,
yeah,
man, because like you in a weird way, you develop a relationship with the musicians that you listen to, and like when you're like having a moment, man, all of a sudden, like
it's a distraction.
yeah, Kenny becomes your boy. You know what I mean? Like you're up there
Yeah.
trying to do your thing. I paid my money. I worked all week.
Yeah,
You know, I'm here to let loose and listen to some great ass music. And you got some like woo, and you know what I
well,
mean?
yeah,
It's just
and like what are they like? That's just like it's like a different version of the "It's my birthday" person.
oh my god,
You know what I
so
mean? It
that's
is like
100%.
well,
Oh,
and
we all
just like dickheads fighting at show. I mean, we haven't had a whole lot of fights at our shows, but like we played in Seattle maybe 2 months ago, and it was like pretty big turnout, and had some guys fighting right up like front row, and enough to a point where like Casey stopped the show, stopped playing, and like I'm like literally trying to grab someone's collar from the stage to pull a guy off of another guy. Think we have it broken up, regroup, get right back into it. And 30 minutes later, two big boys just start brawling and just rolling through the crowd, and it kills the vibe. It's like that's just not. It's selfish and
yeah,
uh, it's childish. I don't know. I have a problem with men that can't act like men. You know.
yeah,
So I mean that's a little more extreme than just like the beer thing, but you know what I mean. Like it's just distraction from the music and just like lack of consideration for other people.
yeah.
You
Because
know.
and like in another way, like if someone did get hurt and you didn't notice, somebody could swing that around to you, like, oh, he
Oh
didn't
yeah.
even stop, and wow, I can't believe he doesn't care about his crowd, and it's just like those stage lights are bright. You can't hear anything, especially if you got
Yeah,
in ears.
you have lights on and ears. Like you can't hear someone screaming something like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but when it's visually to a point where you know what's going on and see the effect it's taking on the crowd, then it's just like it just derails things really quickly.
yeah,
But we're not big enough to have those problems on the regular. But I know, and you know, for the most part, like our crowds are pretty respectful. You know,
yeah,
we have very diverse crowds, and everyone seems to have a good time, and there's never really any fights or people being assholes.
yeah.
So
And when you do it the way you do it organically, like your crowd, I imagine will police itself if
yeah,
there's an
yeah.
issue.
Well, and you know, there's like rotating cast of, I mean, every show that we do in, we have, it's so wild to me. We have like these people that come to shows, like we become friends with them because we see that like they'll come to, it's not just like just come to one done, come to multiple shows and like, I really appreciate that. And like, I try to, I can't like stay out and visit with people like the entire time before the show, but I try to spend some time out front and hanging with people and yeah, you just get to know people. And like I've never treat people like they're like fans, just treat them like they're my friends, and most of them just become my friends naturally,
Yeah.
and in some form or another, which is really cool. I mean, that's a fortunate spot to be in.
Yeah, dude, like a lot of times, like when an artist will be like at the merch booth and waiting to talk to everybody. One of my favorite things are people are like, "Oh, are you in line? Are you in line?" I'm like, dude, it's like the most coolest form of people watching of when they tell their artists, and it's just, first you hear that. I love like when like the whole catalog and they say, man, this song got me through this, and they say like the words and how it meant to them. And I always find that like fascinating of how people, and I'm starting to get that like I'm still having issues like, man, like that song 27, the guitars and stuff, man, it's really hard to like pull the musician out of me and listen to lyrics that normally I get the lyrics on like the third or fourth, but like, man, how like I want to be one of those people where they listen to it as like therapy. Like if they want to, like if they had a bad day and they're just not feeling right in their head, and they can put on one of your songs and just cruise around.
And what a compliment too. Like I've been around, I'm a fan of music and other bands too. And since I've been on the other side of the curtain of it too, I think to myself, like, if I talk to this person, what am I going to say so I don't feel like a dumbass, and, just people come up to me and sometimes people are like, feel awkward and just want to say like that it meant something to them. It's like, that's the best compliment you could give me, is something that I made mean something to you. And to not feel weird about it, because that's the best compliment you could get. So if I ever meet somebody that that I'm a fan of or something like that, I just tell them how much I appreciate their songs, and in some form or another. But yeah, that's awesome. It's crazy that because this is like, writing songs and stuff is at least how I do it. You don't do them with or make them thinking about the impact on other people, or at least I don't. I just kind of do them for myself, and that's like a perk at the end. So when someone tells you that, it's special.
Yeah, it's an incredible relationship that, and man, like when you're writing music, it just like they don't tell you that. Like when you write your first record, you put it out, and if it gets traction, you're getting bigger, and more people are coming up, and it's just kind of like, like what do you say to that? Like, because no one really expects, like, if somebody comes up and says, "Man, your song saved my life," and it's like, man, like, how do I not ruin that impression of like what do you say to that? Because like, like people don't realize, like, I'm pretty antisocial. So sometimes when people meet me and they're just kind of like, "Oh, I thought you would talk more," and I'm like, it's weird, like how that is, but yeah, it's like, because a lot of the times I don't say anything because I run off at the mouth. Some people be like, "What?" I'm like, "My own humor. That was supposed to be sarcastic. I'm sorry." But if somebody came up to me and said something like that, granted, no one's gonna be like, man, that song review you did, like, but like, no one's gonna come up to me, but like, if someone ever did, or you know, like
Yeah.
I at the beginning when people were like, man, I really. I don't know how to play music, but I love to listen to it, and I love talking about it. And you inspired me to start a channel. I'm like, dude, do it, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's all.
I just came into this like never, as Christopher Wright said, this was never on your bingo card. I said, no, if there was a time machine and we all went back, and I would say 16-year-old me, I was in a black leather jacket, chains, and people used to call me Slayer because all I wore was like Slayer shirts. I had black pants, black military boots, you know, like. And if you told me, hey man, check out Randy Travis, he has an incredible voice, I would probably, who knows what I would have done. I'd have been like, no, it's let's put on Angel of Death Slayer. Let's put on Obituary, like, and like. Because people are like, how could you never heard this? How could you never hear Steely Dan of all things? I'm like, dude, the music I listen to, there is no radio station. There's absolutely no media. This is before satellite radio. Like, no one's going to put on Cannibal Corpse on the radio. But that's the stuff I was listening to, and all the other stuff that I'm just like, man, I can't believe I listened to it. Because now I'm like, I'm tired of getting screamed at. Like, I love the vibe and everything, but, dude, like, hearing Randy Travis's voice, it's like, oh my god! And then like, just the story songs, and like you can re-listen to it, and it's like there'll be like another twist. You're like, oh well, no, he's talking about this, he's talking about that, and then man, and then like dude, Chris Ledoux, that it was like Iron Maiden with I would have been like, all right, who is this dude? And then when you learn about like this dude was riding rodeo and selling tapes out of the trunk and doing this like theatrical concert where it's just like what didn't he do? And like it's a shame because like he must have a really good deal, because every song I do when I record myself listening to it, it gets muted, and it's a shame because man, there's a dude like me, there's a kid that's just like, you know, got heavy metal for life tattooed across his forehead, and I don't think, because like I always, my first, it was terrible, like achy breaky heart and friends in low places.
That's it's been really cool for us. I mean, because we get a lot of the people that will say like, I'm not a country fan, but I like this.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not because like it's not like we're not trying to like shit over country music or anything, you know. Like we just kind of walk that in between area, you know.
Dude, definitely. You have like a cool dark vibe.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
I appreciate that. Like when people ask about my music, it's like I don't, you know, of course, yeah, everybody just said, you know, country rock and roll or whatever. But I say like I appreciate the intensity and the emotion of rock and roll, but I like the songwriting of country, you know, country music, you know, whatever form, Americana.
yeah.
I appreciate this songwriting. I mean, that's like, I'm most proud of my songwriting out of anything I do. But like live show wise, like I want it to be intense, you know, and I sing, like my voice is kind of as it gotten older, and like my voice has gotten gravelier, and like I found like I want to be tired and I want to be sore when I finish a show. Like I want to put in work, and like I want to be sweating. Like I want it to be, and it's like I'm not doing a bunch of stage moves. Like there's not a lot of theatrics with my band. We're just playing, but like still pouring everything out. And I'm, you know, we're not dancing around or anything. It's just I'm feeling it when I'm doing it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think that's gets the appeal from the more of the rock, the folks who like rock and roll, so they can appreciate that, and that's what I think some of the some of the country stuff misses out on when it's the delivery.
Yeah.
It's not as emotional and heavy, but there's plenty of dark. I mean, that's what I've been speaking of, like listening to like music that's like I've been listening to a lot more like Joey and Casey and Matt too, our steel player, like, and Tom. I mean, I guess my whole band been like Willie's Roadhouse like all the time now in the van, like satellite radio, just listen to that kind of stuff. Like it's enjoyable to listen to. It's not like what I do, but I've been really getting down some Tom T. Hall here lately. Like just I just like different stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's like once again, like we need a genre name where, because I'll show people your music and I'll be like, this is country. I'm like, and then, and like I said, I was talking to Colby Akoff. He's like, dude, we need another genre or something like I get like kind of like Americana, but that you say Americana, I'm not going to think of like you.
Oh
like,
no, yeah, you think acoustic guitar, like 3-piece, like
yeah,
I
like,
mean in your mind, like I get that. I mean that's like, so we just did a festival last weekend. My friend Jake Zilke, he has this page called Dusty Vaquero, and he takes video of a lot of Western artists, and he goes out with us when he can to take show footage, and but Jake's like made that his passion project, is capturing these different Western artists around the country and doing videos of them. And he just did a festival this weekend in Gillette, and it was like, have you got to listen to Kellen Smith yet?
yeah,
Okay, like Kellen's
dude.
like one of my best friends. Like he's my favorite songwriter by far. I think he's incredible.
Oh yeah,
I think his music's so cool. You can't pin it down either. And but like yeah, so it was like me, Kellen, Brendan Scott Green. Brendan, I don't know if you've gotten in him at all. Brendan plays the didgeridoo sometimes.
oh yeah,
And yeah, we had him play it during 27. It was awesome. Like just like a very eclectic Dave Stamey. They had Dave Stamey there, who's a badass, like someone that I've looked up to for so long. Carson Jeffrey, Logan Ryan, like just a very weird mix of, it's all kind of Western music, in some form or another. But genre wise, you couldn't really pin it down.
yeah,
It's cool. I mean, I prefer it to be that. Like, it's great if it doesn't have a label. It's hard for someone to copy it.
yeah. That's 100%.
Yeah, if you can't really be pinned down and people can't really figure out what exactly makes your music what it is, it's hard for someone to just rip it off.
Yeah,
And it's cool. I mean, I'm a fan of that kind of music, of stuff that's in all the gray areas.
yeah, dude. Kellen's song "Pine Box Gym" is one of my favorite story songs.
Oh yeah.
And that music video is incredible. That's what music lacks today, is the visual art. Because then that is one way for me to get the lyrics 100%.
Oh yeah.
When watching that, I'm like, dude, like, I was like, man, and that dude, like, the music is also great. And then like he has that song, like a cool ballad, and then like he has that what is it, Rattlesnake, and that bluesy song.
Rattlesnakes and Lightning.
Right? Yeah, dude. It's the same with you can rock out to 27, and then Ghost. That's a great ballad, and dude, those lyrics, like, you can absolutely feel them. And I love that song. What was No Cars?
Oh yeah.
That's a cool man. You guys have like the same like. I do like that. Like if you can't throw it in a genre, it's, you know, like how could you duplicate it? And I
Sure.
love how there's no box. Like I said, like they say, like, you know, you shuffle that deck of cards. That deck is the first sequence in the whole universe ever, forever, and it's just that's what you get when you listen to you and someone like Kellen and those guys. And dude, I love it, and I love how
Yeah.
you guys are all friends.
Oh
It's
yeah. Like
and
we're all like genuinely fans of each other. Like I mean, I talk about like Ronnie and the Redwoods whenever I go on these podcasts. Like I'm such a fan of those guys. Like, and they're my friends. But like people doing unique stuff,
yeah,
and it's like none of us are ever going to be playing. I mean, none of us are probably ever going to be like headlining arenas, but like there is an audience for it, and we're all okay with. We're all just bands out to make a living. Like we're not chasing superstardom here. Like
yeah,
we're just proud of the music we make, um, and are satisfied making a living doing it, and like that's why I'm such a fan of those guys, and yeah, anybody that we ever have go do shows with us, like they're friends of ours.
yeah,
That's it's a. I was telling someone last weekend. I was like, it's such a fortunate spot to be that my favorite music is made by people that I know. I mean, not a lot of people can say that. It's pretty
yeah.
wild. So yeah, and that's just a. It's just it's cool. I'm so thankful for the people that I've met doing this, and the friends that I've made, and um, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out there that it might not ever get the attention it deserves, but it doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And I always say like the first time I heard Cross Canadian Ragweed in Cody, Canada, and it's really cool. Like and like what you're doing, what like Kellen Smith is doing. Like I don't have to give anything up out of
Oh yeah,
liking harder music.
yep.
Like Pine Box Jim, like it's a sad ballad, and then it has that crazy
It's a
like
banger. Yeah,
yeah, it's like
yeah,
boom, boom. I'm like dude, and it's so different, and it's yeah, and like I said with your music, you can go from like cool ballads just full on. Yeah, and it's like oh, can you call country? Can you call this? Yeah. And like, dude, I was just love the first time I heard that whammy pedal. I was like, yeah, man, because a lot of the songs I've heard, I don't think I ever really heard that before, and that's just it's a very unique sound that it's just I like. But it is funny, like when I find like, man, the term red dirt is a very gate kept term.
oh yeah,
And I'll use it as a hashtag, knowing this band isn't red dirt, but people who like red dirt like stuff that you make,
yeah,
good music
yeah.
with the harder edge.
They're open to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but man, there's some gatekeepers, man. They'd be like, "I told you, red dirt is only applied to Oklahoma artists," and I'm like, dude, I got quite the following. I might just run a campaign. I love that term. I love telling people. I'll be like, when they're like, "What do they play?" I'm like, "Red dirt." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Exactly. Yeah, get ready." And it's like, what? It's like Oklahoma, Texas. I was like, "Oh no, it's your South Dakota, it's your Wyoming, it's your Arkansas," and then, but there's a lot of people that are like, "Nope, the dirt ain't red. They ain't red dirt." But I always,
But it does work. I mean, I think that is just such a good, a good crossover between rock and roll and country music that it does have. I mean, it is grittier, it is
yeah,
dirtier. It's darker. I feel like that's why it feels like it could cover that all
yeah,
those in between things. And yeah, yeah. It's pretty gray what that means.
yeah,
But I was super into all that. I went to school in Oklahoma, college, from '06 to 10. So that was like maybe right little after, little behind, or little past prime red dirt. But like
yeah,
ragweed played at my college like my freshman year. Like I was into all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm so far behind. It it was incredible. Was the one guy I was in a band with for 10 years. And he was like, I can't believe you just heard Cross Canadian Ragweed. I'm like, what do you mean just heard? I said, I've never talked to anybody from around in the Northeast that knows what that band is. He goes, dude, that's my dad's favorite band. He's just played that out and out and out. And I got sick of it. I'm like, excuse me? What? Like, you mean to tell me? Because if you were driving, you got to pick what you put on the radio. And I'm like, you never thought to put any of that on? I was like, do you realize how mad I am at you right now? Like, I could have heard Cody Canada 10 years ago, and I feel like such a nerd. And he's just like, well, I never thought of it. I was just like, man, it was just always kind of right there. Like it's like Cross Canadian Radio, Cody Canada, and then like Chris Ledoux's or it's not, Randy Travis. I would have been like, respect, being younger, but like,
yeah.
But I wouldn't have, like, man, when you hear those iconic riffs and you're just like, because, like, I never like saying, like, I just don't like I never really understood the whole Dave Matthews thing. Like,
yeah, I guess I haven't either.
Yeah, but, like, it just, I don't know. Like, and
I always keep an open mind with stuff that I've never gotten into because I'm just like, just because I don't like appreciate it doesn't mean it's not good. And like I always appreciate like the musicianship and in anything,
his drummers,
even stuff I don't like. I just try to respect all those things, even if it's not my jam.
Yeah, dude. Dave Matthews Drummer was a monster. I love listening to him, but it's just I get why people like it. I get it. It's just, but man, like, just it didn't really do nothing for me. But like hearing like music like yours and everything, like it's just like I said, like man, I still have everything I like from the harder side, and you're not yelling at me. You know what I mean? Like I can articulate what you're saying without having to like open up the thing and go, oh, that's what he's saying. Like sort of, Like,
yeah. I get lost in some of that scream stuff. Like I can't get into it. Like I really like lyrics and like really appreciate songwriting.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean I can't like things that are just mostly just musical, just for the instrumentation or whatever. But you got it. The lyrics are what sells me on something,
Yeah.
Personally,
it's crazy because like I'm becoming that guy. And I find it more beneficial now. I need to start working this in to the whole TikTok thing. Like to sit down with like a record of yours. Like man, you like really get like a piece, like a chunk of your life.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool thing. And it's been like 3 years. And like I don't know if you saw that I put American Aquarium's latest album on, and all of his Instagram pictures made sense. It was like a little over a year of his chunk of life that, following these people and watching their pictures and stuff and places they're going. You're like, man, it's like sitting and like having a conversation with the artist in the car. It was a really cool experience because like, they don't have that when you put on Lamb of God. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or
well,
like,
I think it's really great too when, in some of the music, like stuff doesn't have to be lived, stories and songs. They don't have to, and the writer, they don't have to be. I've never been like felt super strongly like they didn't do that, like it doesn't have to be that way because like I can still respect clever and great songwriting even if it's something they're pulling out of the ether, but there is something endearing when you hear things that are real life or people around them or something like that,
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, and I always people ask like, well, like how important is songwriting and lyrics to you? And I'm like, man, I'm not gonna lie, like I used to listen to Bush, And the Mickey Mouse was a cow. And I'm like, you know, it's like Mad Libs. And it's just like, I'm like, man, I used to listen to like stuff like that. And, you know, but yeah, it's really cool. And I get like listening, like, and the first time listening to like Waylon Jennings and hearing his voice. And I'm like, man, that's a dude. Like if he sat down next to you at the bar and just talked, like, you know, you're in for some, it just has like I always say, it just sounds like his voice was like his vocal cords were soaked in like a whiskey barrel. It just had some like grit to it. Or like that's like the kind of voice you get from like abusing it and doing stuff and putting pollutants in your body and smoking those gabble killers. And it's and I'm like, and I get like people like grew up with that, like in the truck with their dad and fishing, and just, man, these people, they're like they're legends to them, and it's just funny because like I now get why people were like, it blows their mind that I never heard all those older guys, and it just. And I'm still trying to get those people that, you know, and I was one of them. There's pigeonholed into the same albums, the same. Yeah, I was listening to like Sepultura, the first 3 albums forever, and I get like their last tier is Willie Nelson, and it makes me worried. Like once, you know, unfortunately, you know, he's getting up there and he passes. There's people that's like the end of music to them, and I want. Man, I just wish like with the whole TikTok, because people were like, how can you never do your own music? How can you never do this? How can you never really, like, you play guitar? How can you do a lot of guitar? And I'm like, man, like there's a whole genre of like you and like Kellen and all those guys that are outrageously talented and doing like from out here, like it's stuff we don't have. You know what I mean? Like it's to me it's incredible that like stuff like your music with that sound isn't bigger, you know, and a lot of people they'll get mad at me when they're like, I don't want to have to pay $120 to see Kenny Feidler, you know, keep his name out of your mouth, you know, let us keep him. And I'm like, no,
don't worry, my tickets will probably forever be $25 at the most.
It is funny when people are like, I remember when I saw these guys for $25. And I was like, well, you know what? You could do what I do. You can fly somewhere. And guess what? They're playing $25 out here. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm like, and if you want to hang out with them, hey, they come and hang out. It's not like Texas where there's thousands and thousands of people or at these big venues. Like, you know, some people may feel comfortable walking out and getting, you know, a lot of flashing lights and a lot of questions, and it's a lot. I mean, it has to be a lot. I mean, not that I've ever really experienced it.
It is weird. It is weird to see it. I mean, I haven't experienced either, but just like that, how crazy I mean, besides your really big headliners that are doing arenas and stuff, like, you know, guys that, you know, will play Red Rocks or do these bigger venues out west, and then they take it back, and then they're playing like theater club, and on the East Coast, it's wild. Yeah, that's strange. Yeah, it's strange how different for as globalized and readily available all that, you know, music is with social media and everything. How the crowds change still geographically.
Yeah, like you said, like the entire globe of music is in the palm of your hand. It's incredible. I think like after Texas, I think the second biggest market for me, I think last I checked, it was like Singapore. It was something outrageous, cool. And I'm like, how does that work? Or every once in a while, it would be like another country or somewhere. But like, yeah, because like everybody I ever talked to, like, and I was watching Randall King talk about, you know, European fans, like they're a different animal, and I was talking to the guys from Them Dirty Roses, and I said, what's the most wild thing, like being on tour, you know, because those guys are fun. I've hung out with them a couple of times, and they they get it in, and
Yeah.
it blew my mind when they were like, they're like, dude, Europe, it like he you know, your first show, you want to warm the crowd up with some covers, let them know, let them, you know, it covers do have a place sometimes. Like you're playing a crowd, and they're kind of like, if they didn't go there for music, you know, everyone likes to sing their favorite songs, and I get how like they do work. And he was like, man, we played a cover over there, and they were the whole crowd just stood there. It was like, we came here to see you. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and they man, it's like they like there's just a whole nother level of like a obsession, which that's
Oh,
got to be cool.
and I think so much of that. That's just like it's just like playing all these towns in between that don't get the routing. And we've kind of like we've tried to be really smart about how we route, but it's like doing Montana or cruising through the Midwest. Like sometimes you hit those town, and this is like you know referencing like Europe and stuff, but where they're like so starved for it, and they just like they really appreciate it when you come to town,
Yeah.
and because it doesn't happen all the time, so it's it really means something when you do get there, and that's like all these little in between places and things that aren't major routing for you know for you know arenas and stadium bands or whatever. Like they appreciate it, and for guys like us, that's what makes the world go round. People that like appreciate that you made the stop, and then
Yeah.
they see every time you come back within
Mm-hmm.
2 hours.
Dude,
So
100%. Like we would always we'd always get gigs in the middle of going somewhere instead of just not doing something, just stopping and playing. And some of those small towns in like West Virginia or whatnot, like you're playing their Super Bowl halftime. Like there's nowhere
yeah,
else to go. There's
yeah,
and if they love you, my God, do they love you? And
yeah,
like and if the owner, even better because those guys, like it, there's definitely some great hospitality, and you'll know, like, man, we went there. There was 15 people, but if the owner's in with you, man, I can't tell you how many people were like, "Hey, I appreciate you coming out here. We don't get bands, man. That play like this, and hey, man, next time you come out, I got your hotel room." It's like, oh, and just the people are just like it's as close as I ever got to like doing a stadium show when people they're there, and they were just there because ain't nothing on the TV, but man, if you if you really rile them up, it's they don't have anybody stopping there. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
they got their you
Well,
know
and they get a unique experience too because they're seeing you in a club or something. They can talk to you
yeah
like like that's special, for people to have that, like be that close to you when you're doing some of those shows and in those towns. It's like they get to have a true interaction and figure you out, from the live show to afterwards, and it sticks with them.
yeah it definitely a cool interaction playing places like that. That was always when you first get there, this is the first time there, and just like, oh man, but it's if there's the five people that are absolutely just everything you do, they're so into it that just makes it up. It's fun. It's
Yeah,
definitely fun.
well, that's
It's
what I've always had to always kept that in perspective, like when or on my mind when we go to like new areas that we've never played before, and like you can never mail it in. Like
yeah
you never know how far someone like there might be five people somewhere. One of them might have came 6 hours. You can never
yeah
mail it in, and it's always important just to make sure you deliver every time, because you start hitting those new areas, and it might be the closest you've ever gotten to make it, possible for someone to come see you.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, dude, we've been talking for an hour and a half. Do you have?
oh, uh, yeah, we have uh, we have a bunch of shows lined up for this year, from Canada to the East Coast, I guess. So we're all over the place. Look on my website, kennyfeidler.com, or on the socials. I'm trying to be pretty good about keeping everybody posted on there,
Yeah,
and
definitely. I was very impressed. Like,
oh, thank you. Yeah.
I know where you'll be. Probably before where you know where you'll be.
Yeah, I hate to be lame, and like I try to, you know, I'm not a I'm not a TikToker. I don't really do any goofy stuff on the socials, but it's just like my band's goofy, and like they're fun people. Like it's either my kids or my band or show posting. So, but yeah, we try to make sure everyone knows where we're at, and yeah, we'll be putting some new music out this fall. Got like got an album just about wrapped up, just finishing a couple things, and pretty stoked for it. So don't have a date yet. I think we're gonna press vinyl before we did that live album, that Live from Bucks album, a month or two ago. Put that out, and that was like, this is the first time I've ever like not been chomping at the bit. It seems like in the past, every time get something done in the studio, it's like you're like gunning to put it out there because it's time, it's overdue, and
Yeah.
and so we did that live album, and put that out, and at least in my mind, it makes it feel like we don't look stagnant, and it gives me enough time where I can put something out. And I don't know the proper way about releasing music anymore, if it's
Yeah.
the singles or whatever. But I'm putting an album out, and I'm gonna actually press vinyl and have vinyl in hand before, and get it to people before it goes to digital, for the first time, because I think that'd be kind of cool. I've just that Bloodshot album, I'm down to my last box of that vinyl, and
Nice.
so it's taken me 2 years, but to get run through 500 of them. But that was my first one doing vinyl, and it was a different time in the band too. So it's kind of stoked to do this one, and maybe be able to really sell a bunch of it before sell a bunch of vinyl before they put it in people's hands, where they can. It'll be a little more special when people can get a hold of something physical before they can go stream it or something.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I had a record player. I cannot find it, and people have been sending me vinyl, and man, like just like opening it up and just touching it.
Yeah.
And seeing the physical, because that was my thing. Like, I just remember getting the cassette. It was even before you put it on. Just take it out and see, like, I was always like who they thanked, and just like the lyrics, and like, I just really like that, because now, like, if I just put music on in the car, and if I don't have like Apple CarPlay or something on what's playing, like, I'll be like, oh, I like that song, and then I'll go to another song, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know what that song
Don't know
was.
what, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, from how I was growing up to how it is now, that it still makes me so mad, because like, man, like that's a terrible thing to lose.
Yeah, well, and I mean, for all there's so many good things that come with like the streaming is, like, as far as discovery goes. I mean, guys like me, like, would never have found an audience if we had to go go straight for through a label, or
Yeah,
get someone to come after you, and so, like, very fortunate there. It's just yeah, it is nice to have something real and tangible. And I don't know, it's not a I feel like years ago when vinyl started making a comeback, it had a little more of a hipster aura about it, but it's truly like there's something intentional about a fan buying something physical from you,
Yeah.
and like we work really hard on making sure our merch is good, and it's a big part of our business. But man, just it shows people just want to buy something. They want something real that they can keep.
Yeah.
That's not gonna go off in the ether. It's so yeah. I'm pretty stoked to get. We'll do that this round, and I felt like I've not stacked up the time, so not been put so crunched to get something out. I don't know. I don't have not a label, or I just had. It's just me and my tour manager and our booking agent Ted. We no one's holding a gun to my head on when I can put it out. So and I'm kind of over it too. I'm kind of over like feeling like I have to play, be in some kind of rhythm of
Yeah.
Timing. It's just gonna do stuff when it's right to me, and so that'll be cool. Get vinyl to people before we put the thing out.
Yeah,
But,
dude, I think that's a great strategy because when people drop that needle, it's not going to be for one track.
yeah.
It's going to be to sit down and
They'll actually listen to the whole thing, and that's the one thing that does suck about, I mean, I do it too. I'm guilty too. Like I'll listen to some new things, and I'll listen to the first couple chunks of it, and unless it's someone that I'm very invested in, they can lose you, and you might not give it the time. So,
yeah.
but that's the one unfortunate thing about it. But my phone just said my memory is running low.
Yeah,
so,
I just got the alert too.
Okay.
Technology, man.
Yeah. No, Patrick, thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. And
Dude.
thanks for always checking out our stuff and giving it some eyeballs.
Yeah,
on
dude.
On the the singles and stuff. So
Yeah,
appreciate
dude.
that.
Anytime, if you need any help or anything promo wise, dude, whatever. I'll do whatever you want.
Well, thank you.
I really love your sound, and
hopefully we'll get to meet you in person one of these days. I mean,
yeah.
There's been a couple things that it's almost happened and it doesn't. But yeah, we'll I'm sure we will here soon.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll be down in Texas, and we'll definitely cross paths one day.
You bet. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, man, dude. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate your time, and have a good rest of your night, man.
You too. We'll see you.